So, I got a good video for you guys today. I unboxed the W8 in my last video, and then I powered it up and I was starting the next video, and I was like, I don't like this sound. I was running it for a couple days, and I'm like, I don't like this sound. It's annoying. I can't sit in this room, and I don't expect anybody else to be able to sit in the same room with this box. Now, if it was in an IT closet, it wouldn't probably bother anybody. But if it's in a small office, it might bother you. So I did probably a good day's worth of digging on this box. Thank you to Brian for giving me some tips how to get into the BIOS and to turn the fan speed down on the stock fan. I also ordered a Noctua fan because that's usually what I put in all my other gear and make it quiet, and it works. And I've come up with the perfect recipe to get this thing quiet with the stock fan and Jason acceptable quiet noise to sit beside me here with this fan. So today I'm going to show you guys how to serial into the box, get into the BIOS, and change the fan speed. And then after that, I'm going to change the other fan, the Noctua fan, into it, and then bring the speed back up. So this box is pretty sweet because you can sit it into auto mode, which is what it comes from the factory, or you can go into manual mode. And I've sat around for 2 hours using my thermal gun and checking the temperatures and loading the box down so it doesn't get too hot and too cold and give you guys bad advice. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys how to console into it, and then we'll turn it on or show you how loud it is. And then after that, I'll go into the BIOS and set it down to the level I had it sitting at, which was way better when using the stock fan. So the first thing you have to do is obviously plug the box in, but make sure it's turned off. And when you do this, the serial port will become active. And it comes with a nice little white cable. So if we plug this in right now, actually, you know what? I'll bring up Device Manager here for you so we can see it come online. Oh, came onto my other monitor here. So in here, we'll go like this. And then this will also tell us what serial port we have to use when we use PuTTY. So go like this, plug it in. Okay. And right here, we'll see it comes up. So we're using COM port 6. So what we do is we launch PuTTY. And my main monitor is over here, so I have to bring things over here for you guys. So we'll go like this. And we have to go serial. And we have to go to port 6, or serial COM 6, which is right here. And the magic number for the speed we have to connect at is 112,500. Actually, no, I think that's wrong. I think it's 115,200. That sounds about right. Then what we do is we go open. Okay? So we go open. Oh, and of course it came onto the other side here. So we're connected. So now what we need to do is turn it on. It might get a little loud in here, so what we'll do is I'll show you here. But we have to start clicking delete so we can get into the BIOS. There it is. So we're in the BIOS right now. I don't know if you guys can hear that fan. It's kind of annoying, and that's what it sits at when it does that. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to have to reboot the box. So what I'll actually do is we'll go like this. So we'll go save changes, reset. We haven't made any changes. So we'll reboot it. It turns off. Okay. The box boots. Takes a good 5-10 seconds, maybe a little bit, 20 seconds to fully boot. Now sitting in this room with this noise, I mean, if this was in a closet, it's acceptable and it keeps the box quiet and or cool, no problems thermally. I've checked all this. But in a room like this, when you're working or in a small office, it might be, maybe I'm just too picky, but this might be acceptable for some. And I understand why it's that, because you don't want the box to overheat, which is regular, normal, right? So what we'll do is we'll reboot this, we'll get in, I'll log in, and I'll reboot it. I don't know if any of you guys have seen this console like this before, so we'll move this over here so we can see this a little bit bigger. Okay, we go root, password, and then it'll bring us up to another password. Okay, then what we'll do is we'll reboot. And then let's go in there and change the fan to the speed that I tried a whole bunch of numbers, and the one that I found that worked really, really well and kept the temperatures proper was 50. So let's go in here and we'll go yes. It'll reboot. Push delete. So we'll go into the BIOS. What we'll do is we'll go to Advanced, Hardware Monitor, and then we'll go click on Smart Fan Mode, Smart Fan Mode again, and then what we'll do is we'll go Manual, and then we'll go down, and I typed in 50. And we'll go Enter, and then we'll go Escape, Save, and Reset. It turns off, and now it'll turn back on, and the fan will be quieter in a second here. I don't know if you can tell the much difference, but it's sitting beside me and it's way, way less irritable. It was in my closet over there and it was way better. Sitting with that original sound was just driving me nuts. I couldn't do it. So we'll let it boot up, and then what I'll do is I will change the fan to this. I've already tested it, but I'm going to put it in. I'm going to show you guys what to do to make it all work. We have to go back in there and change the fan from 50 to 200 because this flows air, but it requires more RPM than this other fan. It's more sensitive, so it needs a little bit more RPM to get it going. It's really, really quiet. You can't even hear it going at all. So I bought a Noctua NF A4X20. Okay, so let's open this up while this thing's booting. Comes with the standard hardware here. Changing the fan out of this is extremely easy. I'm probably going to get in trouble for doing this, but don't worry, nothing is broken. It's just changing a fan with 4 screws. Okay? So we have to use the 4 screws that came with it because the screws that come with this fan are too small and this one isn't. Okay? If you really wanted to get fancy, I did try it, you can use these little rubber guys, put the fan in there and then squeeze them into that. You do have to cut the tail off on these to about just sticking outside of the back of the fan because of the way that the fan sits in that box, and then you have to clip the front side a little bit because there's not much room in there. So I'll show you that. So the box is up. Let's go with this and go root. Password. The password. What we want to do is we want to go shut down. Yes. Now this was, I learned how to do this, and I think Eric and Brian for showing me how to do console. I've never done it before because obviously I like the GUI, and the VGA and the HDMI gives us a spoil, but console, not that bad. It's actually pretty easy. So we take my little switch off the top of it. The cover's off because I've been doing a lot of testing, like tons and tons of testing. We take out 2 little screws and the fan pops up. Very easy. Okay, put that over here. We take our screwdriver, take out these 4 screws, I have to put it all back so I don't want to lose the screws, because I'm sure when I send this unit back, unless I'm getting to keep it, they'll want it back the way it is from factory. So we'll put the bracket over here, we'll take our fan, put those over here, put it all back together after. If I get to keep the box, it's going to keep the fan out with the screws in it. So we want to notice the direction of the fan, and it usually says on here, and we want the air to go forward through the bracket like this. So we'll look at the bracket, and the fan goes like this. Actually, it goes like this. So, back of the fan, like this. And we have to cut open our baggie. Sorry you guys can't see this. I don't have an overhead camera right now, so we just have to watch what I'm doing. It's pretty self-explanatory. It's not really that hard at all. Put 4 screws in the fan here. The holes in the bracket are just fine. Oh, you know what? That should work just fine. Perfect. Yeah, make sure the wires go out the back. Let's put the other screw back in first. Okay, make sure our little tiny wires are going through the fan module here. Okay, so now let's go like this and put it back in. I'll put all the screws back in it after. Okay, so now let's turn it back on. You won't hear a single thing because it's so quiet. We heard a beep though. Okay, so now we got to go to the same menu, hardware monitor, smart fan configuration, and we got to set this to, I'm going to set this to 225, which was my magic number, to make this fan move as much air through it, and you still won't even be able to hear it. And then we'll check the RPM. So what I'll do is I'll push enter. Okay, escape. The RPMs are low right now because it doesn't apply the settings until you reboot. So what we'll do is we'll go escape again. And then we'll go reboot. Watch this. And then we'll go back into the BIOS, and then it'll show the RPM, okay? And we want to save our settings. It'll beep. There it is. Let's go back into the BIOS. You can't hear anything. It is, I mean, if you really put your ear there, you'll hear something. Or I'll undo my, actually I'm not undoing my microphone. You'll trust me. You can't hear it. Very quiet. But let's check the fan. So we'll go advanced, hardware monitor. We're at 4,400 RPM and moving. Now this fan, the stock fan, at 4,400 RPM, drive you nuts. It's loud, very annoying. As you can tell, the temperatures are still really low. I ran this with the fan like this at this exact setting, our magic number there. So if we go back in here, 225 for a day and a half. No, it was cold. I put my hand on top of it, it was cold. So, and this room stays warm. So, that's how you do this. So now let's go at this and go escape. Escape again. Save and reset. It'll beep and do its normal thing. Hey, while we're waiting, are you subscribed to my channel? Please subscribe. I appreciate that. I'm growing. It's going good. Thank you. And like the video. If you don't like the video, pretty sure that those would be the guys at Untangle will not like this video because of me touching their hardware and changing a fan. But I've done that to a lot of my equipment in this room, and other people have done that in their labs and stuff like that to make things quieter. And maybe this is something that they'll take back to the engineering company and say, hey, you know, this fan that you guys have in a normal data center or a normal business might be fine, but in a small SMB, this would drive you nuts. But anyway, we're back at it. So that's the quick little video I have for you guys. Maybe not quick video. It's probably, what, 20 minutes long? I'm sorry. But I wanted to show you guys the examples and how easy it is to change the fan. Yeah, we'll go from there. So, you guys have a good evening. It's 11 o'clock at night on a Friday, and I am playing on my computer. So, thanks for watching. Thumbs up, thumbs down, questions, and wait for the next video because I'm going to set it all up. You guys have a good evening. See you later.